Ladies and gentlemen, Chapter 1, Storming the Koopa Brothers Fortress. So, we can get hit by a first strike too, which is exactly as bad as it sounds. This is also when we introduce the concept of enemies having alternate things to them. Alternate states, excuse me. This is the most basic one. You can knock over a Koopa, at which point it becomes helpless. There's actually a lot of these, but we'll be introducing these as we go. This is, again, a very, very, very basic one, but it still works. This is a Koopa Troopa. Everyone knows Koopa Troopas are Bowser's followers. Max HP, max power, defense power. The shells are hard. If you can flip them over, their defense power will fall to 0, and it becomes much easier to defeat them. You can flip them with a POW block or a jump attack. So, I didn't think you were capable of drawing, Mr. Ritter. Are you sure? It's just... it's unseen. Risque, one might even say. I really need to get better about my timing on these. So here's the first strike for our end, which is more or less exactly what it looks like. You know, I've never done a randomizer of Paper Mario. As always, badge points are king. That's true in most of these games, honestly. Hey, Rex. Hope today is going as well as it can. I should have just talked about the action commands here. You see how much it fundamentally changes the flow of battle. Ignoring the fact that it's literally doubling my attack output. I also took no damage that entire fight. Yes, this is Sticker Star. You could tell because there are positives on the screen and not negatives. I actually had someone in the comments section mention that Sticker Star might not be as negative as we all think it is. I don't know. I think Sticker Star might actually be worse than we think it is. A specific thing that was brought up, for example, was, well, is it necessarily a bad thing that the main villain never says a single line of dialogue in the entire game? To which I say, yes. First of all, ignoring external continuity, which is its own thing. The fact of the matter is, if you had any game where the central villain never talks, that's already kind of, huh? Territory. But Lavos isn't really the central villain of that game, to be honest with you. If anything, in that case, it would be Queen Zeal, as fulfilling the same role. I actually got pretty far into Sticker Star. And I put it down. So, let's talk about the level we just went through. Because that's right, it's yet another tutorial. This is, even though we've had 2 of these before now, this is our 3rd and final level tutorial, because there's stages in these games, just like there's in a typical Mario game. So the path to the Koopa Village, the dungeon we're about to do, you know, all of these are functionally levels from a typical perspective. Yeah, no, sticker stars. Anyways, point being, we've got plenty of items on the road. We've got a couple of little optional secrets. We've got enemies that will aggressively attack you, enemies that will ignore you, and enemies that will passively attack you. We've got enemies you want to hit with hammer, enemies you want to hit with jump, and none of the enemy formations are particularly large, but they're still good enough to get you a level. It's extremely unlikely that you haven't leveled by now, unless you're just avoiding everything, right? Three hours. Look, Sticker Star is really bad, Mr. Red. You don't even know, okay? Oh, can it be? Are you Mario? Welcome to Koopa Village. I wish I could really welcome you, but we're in big trouble. Can't you see what kind of madness is going on? The village is in an uproar because of the fuzzies. You do know what fuzzies are like, don't you, Mario? They look like this. I just said that, Romanker. It was the first thing I said, as this introduces enemy states. Mean guys, they're really naughty. And they steal our shells! So this game confirms something people have theorized for years, and that's not a joke. Koopas can have their shells removed from them. Stupid Fuzzy, get back here with my shell. Oh, thank you, Mario. I owe you one. I just can't walk around without my shell on. Talk about embarrassing. Mario, be sure to keep your shell safe from fuzzies, alright? Oops, you don't have one. Well, watch your overalls! Oh my god, they're gonna steal my clothes. This is Koopa Village. Big surprise, Koopas live here. Recently seems like some bombs have moved here, too. Must have run away from the fortress, huh? There you go, buddy. I wish I got dressed like that every day. The clothing just whips up into the air and then slams down onto me. And there's the all-important Koopa leaf. Well, the good news is we'll never know, Mr. Red. I have no idea. I do have an anecdote to share about that, but we'll get there later. This shell was made to order. That's why it fits me so well. I mean, how cool do I look? Get back here. Listen, there's only one country that exists in the world that is not the United States, and that's Japan. Those are the video game states. During the Great Video Game War of 1837, the two superpowers. Supposedly these Bob-ombs recently ran away from the Koopa Brothers fortress. Of course, things aren't much better here in the village. Fuzzy's running wild. Poor little Bob-ombs. Huh? Me? I don't leave my house because I couldn't bear it if the Fuzzies made a fool of me. They'd probably take my shell and play with it. I know I don't look cool without my shell. Nope. No thank you. I'd rather just stay here and listen to music. We're Bob-ombs. We just ran away from the Koopa Brothers fortress. I thought we'd at least find some peace here in the village. Boy, were we wrong. Fuzzy's running wild around here. All we want is a little peace. Oh yeah, by the way, you can also do this. This Koopa Troopa obviously loves the radio. He's always listening to it. He seems to prefer music to the news reports. Who wouldn't? I like music too. How about you, Mario? Oh, I hate music! He's a bomb. He's from inside the walls of Koopa Brothers Fortress. Even if he explodes, you'll be fine as long as you stay a good distance away. You never know when these bombs might go off. You must listen. The Koopa Brothers Fortress is in the fortress worked us too hard. As far as they're concerned, laborers have no rights. I will never ever go back to work in such a terrible place as New Jersey. He's a bomb. He used to work inside the Koopa Brothers Fortress. Now he lives amongst the Koopa Troopas. He sometimes blows up at the very inappropriate times. Not that it's such a big deal, but somebody might get mad. Yeah, by the way, you can tattle on every enemy, every location, and every NPC in the game. I kind of got used to Goombario being my main character, because I would use him to tattle constantly. This is a Koopa Trooper from Scenic Koopa Village. He's like the welcome wagon. He seems to be a pretty jolly Koopa Trooper. Just look at his face. Is it only my imagination, or did Koopa Troopers used to walk around on 4 legs? I guess that was a really long time ago, huh? Koopa Troopers sunbathe in their shells when it's sunny out. Supposedly a lot of Koopa Troopers set trends that are totally fashionable. I guess they have different tastes from mine. And yeah, Goombario just knows all this stuff, because of course he does. Yeah, but this... might actually be a 9 positive situation. There is so much tattle, flavor, and background lore in this game. It's kind of silly. Ah. Ah! Ah, whatever. Whatever. You fuzzies won't be me. Behold my power. How was that? Superpower, wasn't it? He's a Koopa Trooper from Koopa Village. He's easygoing, but he seems to have a sense of justice, too. Sometimes the fight for justice is dangerous, you know. Goompa told me we must always be strong inside, or else we could get hurt. I'm trying to be strong, just like this Koopa. I respect him for that. I doubted Triaxia, but I think Paper Mario will score quite well. The last time we did this, Paper Mario 1 and 2 both scored pretty close to each other. I'm curious if that's going to be true this time as well. I put a high-tech lock on my shell so the fuzzies can't take it. They'll never manage to pry it off now. I'm not sure if I can get it off, to be honest. He's a Koopa Trooper from Koopa Village. He's pretty mellow. He doesn't care if he's surrounded by all kinds of noise. As long as nothing interferes with his personal space, he doesn't care what goes on in town. Must be nice to have such a stress-free personality. Ah, my favorite shell. I just washed it. Very basic puzzle tutorial. This whole game is tutorials. That's a lie, but... I might have known. You're so clever, Mario. He's a Koopa Trooper from Koopa Village. As you can see, most Koopa Troopers are easygoing, but a little bit shy. There's some exceptions, but he seems to be typical. You gotta love the easygoing types, huh, Mario? Fuzzy took my shell. I ran after it, but it just laughed and taunted me. Damn it, there's actually a trick to this, and for the love of me, I cannot remember it right now. For the life of me. For the love of me? What the hell? Oh god. I really am tired. I might cut off a little early today. And that's in addition to starting late. I'm terrible. Get back here. He's just... Look at him. Oh, whatever. Let's go visit Colorado's wife here. These fuzzies, will their mischief never end? My husband is never here when there's trouble. My husband? Oh, his name is Colorado. You've heard of him. He claims to be a famous explorer. Who knows if it's true or not? He runs his mouth a lot. She's the wife of Colorado, who's an archaeologist and explorer. She always worries about him. You know, I like adventure too. I can totally see my future wife being like that. Always worried about brave Goombario. Says something about... some comic books, and something about a Yoshi Island? Who's there? Kind of busy right now. What? Wait. Could it be? Aren't you Mario? You are! Oh, my name's Cooper. I'm so psyched to meet you. Us meeting here's got to be like fate or something. I need a huge favor. I hope you'll help me out. This wild fuzzy stuck my shell, which, next to my life, is the most important thing I have. I can't go out without my shell. Period. Way too embarrassing. The problem is the fuzzies are too fast for me to catch alone. So if you don't mind, could you help me get my shell back? I'm begging you. Hey, Mario. Looks like he's in a bad way. We gotta help him out. Fuzzy took my shells just inside the house. I'll guard the door while you grab him. It's a pity he's missing his shell. How embarrassing. His name's Cooper. I wonder if he'd be our friend for life. Nah! Yark! Yark! So you like the shell game, right? Well, tough, because we gotta kill these guys now. This is a fuzzy. Why do fuzzies always jump up and down? They need to chill out. The problem with fuzzies is their quickness. It's really tough to time their attacks. If they latch onto you, watch out. They'll absorb your HP. You can defend from that. I'm failing at it. So tantalizing. Just out of reach. Okay, that's fine, whatever. I wouldn't worry about that too much. I'm sure it's a nothing. So, shell game. Yark! Come get it if you can. Yeah, yeah. Not bad, chump. That was just a warm-up. Yark! York? You got me twice. Must have been luck. Now I'm serious. Oh, no. I give Uncle. Here, take the stupid shell. You got the shell. Be too tough for me. I won't be bad anymore. I promise. Maybe. Mario, there you are. I realize I have to take a stand against these fuzzies. I can't get my own shell. I'll lose my reputation. I don't even care that I have no shell on. I'm gonna show those fuzzies what's what! We already got the shell back. Here you go. Oh, yes! Yes! That's my shell, alright. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, I got my shell back. Oh, yeah. You're the greatest, Mario. I owe you big time. Good to hear you're happy. Say, Mario, I have an idea. Do you happen to know Professor Colorado? Naturally, he's a Koopa who's professor of archaeology. He's also known as an explorer. Right, well, I live next to him. I've been admiring Professor Colorado ever since I was in my egg. Nothing would make me happier than traveling the world, solving mysteries like he does. So, do you think... Could I... maybe... Please take me with you, Mario. I'll help. Come on, let me go. I don't know. What do you think, Mario? Don't take. Oh, come on. You gotta. I have lots of skills. I work well with others. Please, take me along. Okay. Oh, yes! I'm on my way. I swear I, Cooper, will follow you anywhere to the ends of the earth. Cooper is probably one of the better early party members. So, here's the thing. Well, you know what? I think I'll bring that up much later, but all I'm going to say is, one thing Paper Mario 2 does a lot better is the companions. And we'll just leave that at that for now. I changed my mind, sucker! How about a fight? Oh no. So, this is his ability. This is a decent time to pop this. We'll be good. We'll be good. Hi, Zactoad. So, this is our tutorial for how Koopa works. You notice they go out of the way to make sure you cannot avoid this earlier. So you have to see it coming. So you can figure out how you can grab stuff with him. Which is nice. We're going to equip that immediately. We're not going to equip Hammer Throw because nobody uses Hammer Throw. Nobody! I'm curious how they use Hammer Throw in a randomizer. Like, what would make a... Like, what about a randomizer makes that not garbage? The only thing I could think is that it would change up who you have access to when, and which enemies you fight when. So in some cases it would be the only way to attack certain enemies. In which case I feel like I've answered my own question, and never mind. See, there's this thing called having a brain. I'm a firm believer in not having a brain. Fuzzies are gone. You know, I didn't hate them, even though they were naughty. Those fuzzies were a real pain in the shell, but it seems too quiet without them. To be honest, I wouldn't mind if they came by once in a while. Don't tell anyone I said that. Fuzzies are gone now. Whew. To tell you the truth, though, it's a bit boring here now. Damn. Although, while we're here... Yeah, time to start some chaos. Come here! Mr. Colorado's a famous archaeologist from here. He hasn't been back to his house since he went to Dry Desert. Colorado's wife is always worried about him. They live in that house over there with the yellow roof. Oh, little Cooper's going on Mario's adventure? How cute. Take care. He's totally dead. Don't worry, this game isn't dark at all. That's the next one. Hey, the bombs. You must listen. The Koopa Bros in the fortress worked us too hard. Yep. What good is peace if our friends are still stuck in jail inside the fortress? We must rescue the bombs. Okay, so the third one. We have to talk about the third one. There's a reason we're not replaying the third one, and it's not just because of the fact that the emulator literally crashed when we did that. That's in a highlight reel, even. So, two things. First, one of the little tidbits I actually like about this sequence is it's also banal and normal now, but please try to put yourself into the mindset of being in, what is this, 1990-something. It's not going to tell me, is it? No, it's not. When did this come out? Might have actually been the aughts by this point. Because this was pretty late in the N64's life cycle. Okay, 2000 on the dot. August of 2000, no less. So put yourself into the mindset of the year 2000. Mario's been around for like 15 years at this point, right? But other than SMRPG, they just haven't done a lot with regards to fleshing out the Mario setting. Think about what they sent us after first. So the first thing we encounter is a Goomba village, where there's a bunch of friendly, neighborly Goombas who are there to help nourish us, get us back in a fighting condition, and get us started on our adventure. The second area we face is a bunch of Koopas in the Koopa village, and while we're there, we find out a bunch of bombs who we are now tasked to go rescue. All of this feels like duh nowadays, because from the modern perspective, the Mario setting has been fleshed out quite a bit. But again, think about going to this from something like Yoshi's Island or Mario World or Mario 3 or whatever, where those weren't even characters, never mind, civilians, right? And that's the important part I'm trying to get across here. There's an importance of tone, and there's a clear effort to put a lot of the typical Mario villains right towards the beginning of the story in order to make sure that we get across the idea of what exactly the Mario world is really like, for lack of a better way to put that. And yeah, Miyamoto's in the background going, no! We'll actually talk about that in the next game. Yeah, exactly, Rex. All of this is just normal now. Like, we all just know this is a thing now. But back in the day, these weren't characters. Even in SMRPG, it was... Let's actually think about SMRPG for a second. There were the Toads in the first major town we encountered. And then there were, like, the Tadpoles, which is the second town. Then the third town was primarily Toads. And the fourth town was primarily Toads, right? We got a little bit of insight into the fact that Bowser and his characters were characters, but it was very, very little tidbits, right? Like, most of that was actually pushed towards almost the end of Super Mario RPG, when we're going through Bowser's Castle the second time with Bowser in the party, and he'll actually interact with some of his former minions, right? That's as close as we got. Here, they're shoving it right up front to be like, okay, look, just bear with me. Yeah, exactly, Blade Tavol. They were quite literally all part of the military. And so this kind of introduces the idea that there are Koopas that don't follow Bowser. Yeah, Mole Town, that's, yeah. Not trying to cast shade on SMRPG, I'm just trying to get across the point. Sorry, jotting down some thoughts here really quick. But I want to address Blade Chaval's question too. What do I think about the paper aesthetic? So as I've already pointed out, the paper aesthetic exists because of hardware limitations. Now, let me start by saying that very little infuriates me as much as the fact that several Nintendo devs have said many, many times that the main thing that they love, that everybody loves about Paper Mario, is the paper. Now, I put these two things side by side for a reason. Everything I just discussed about the smart world building and the establishment and the creating a new normal, all of that stuff is smart, interesting, well-designed storytelling. But no. It's the paper. That's why I'm playing this game. Not for the characterization, not for the smart combat, not for the interesting world, not for the colorful aesthetics. No. It's the paper. That's why I'm playing this game. Now, supposedly, and I'm a big asterisk on this statement, but supposedly they had an interview, a poll, excuse me, after Paper Mario 2 came out in Japan. And that poll asked, what did you like most about Paper Mario 2? And supposedly, and I'm really putting the asterisk on this, supposedly, the biggest response was everyone loved the paper part of Paper Mario 2. Now, I call friggity bullcrap on that. Oh my god, Will. I don't know if that's an invalid poll response. I don't know if it's made up information. I don't know if the poll itself was... Like, polls are not exactly 100% reliable to begin with. We've known this for ever. But... And yeah, that was also just a Japanese limited poll. And it was also the first option in the poll. You get it, right? Like, there's a lot of math and science that goes into poll design, honestly. I just realized we could play this in 4x3. 1 second. I just realized this. I am just... God, I'm so stupid today. Hang on. There we go. And then we'll just do this. Like that. There we go. That's better. Sus! This is a sus stream! Alright, anyways. There's nothing more deceiving than statistics. Yeah, you know the first thing I learned about statistics? This is not a joke. Back in statistics class. The biggest lie statistics can ever tell you is that to make you think that they represent reality. Never believe in statistics too much. Anyways. Having said all that, I actually rather like the paper aesthetic here and in the next game. And I do very specifically mention these two games. And there's two big reasons why. First of all, here the paper aesthetic is... Obviously, it's kind of part of the shtick, but it's also very, very well done. You see... I kind of already commented on this. It's good sprite work, regardless of the fact that they're 2D. It's just being done as if this is a 2D game, right? So there's good sprite design in this game, regardless. And the fact that they occasionally dive into this, dive into the fact that you can spin like that, it's just a little bit of an extra thing. It's just a little extra animation, like when you go to bed, or earlier when we were falling and we just kind of floated down like a piece of paper. But that's the point. The paper aesthetic is like way in the background, as weird as that sounds. It's almost unnecessary. I have known people who've played this game who haven't even really picked up on the fact that we're paper because it's so de-emphasized. Which makes sense, because the paper thing was a conceit here, not a design choice. Now, come Paper Mario 2, it starts becoming a design choice. However, I'm still okay with it in Paper Mario 2 because they play with it, right? They start playing with the motif of paper in several ways, and you'll see what I mean when we get there. It isn't until the third and fourth and fifth games that the paper thing stops being like an interesting little bit of visual flavor and turns into the entire focus of the games. And again, I hate to bury the lead on this, but sticker star. Hi, Evo. I would love to hear your in-depth thoughts on the visuals, because, you know, you're you. Like, look at this. At a glance, you couldn't even tell anything here is paper. So, now that we have a party member who has a useful ability, we're starting to see some of the use of... What's this gimmick so much? Of, FP, mana. Now, this isn't 100% true, but in Paper Mario games in general, mana is usually a precious and very valuable resource. There is a... almost always commensurately increases your attack power and general capacity to interact with the environment and enemies by a huge amount. Like, it's not like, well, I could do 15 damage or 30 damage. It's more like I could do 15 damage or 150 damage, equivalently. Using mana in these games tends to be the difference between one-shotting an entire enemy group or, you know, getting mashed on the entire time. You'll notice, immediately after getting Cooper... Yeah, exactly, wait, Deval. One of the first things that they showcase is flying enemies, which we didn't even have prior to now. Actually, I guess that's true. It's not true. Sorry, that's not true. We actually had Paragoombas, my bad. But the point is, they specifically do place flying enemies here when we're very likely to have Cooper in the party. Now, this is a dealable thing, because I can do that and push them down to deal with them with Cooper. Or, you know what I can also do? Notice how that took up the turn, though. And so that's pretty much designed to tutorialize the idea that swapping a party member takes up their turn. Now, there's an asterisk to that, which those of you who know this game already know and are probably shouting at me. But what I'm trying to get across once again is just how much this game quietly and slowly adds layers and layers to its strategic aspect, of the tactical side of the combat. For example, if I had just started this combat with Goombario out initially, I could have completely locked down to the enemy to the point where they couldn't have done anything. But I would have had to start out with Goombario. So I decided it was worth actually swapping to Goombario to lock them down after the fact to ensure that I took no more damage for the rest of life. Because another thing that's invaluable in this game is health. I have 15 health right now. That's it. We'll get rid of the dried shroom. That has uses later, but not right now. Although... whatever. It's okay, Evo. I understand completely. You know, you should take a walk. So we're going to leave Goombario out, so we can do stuff like this. Now, this is interesting. So another thing you can do, let's just keep adding tactics to this later. We're going to change member on Mario's turn. So Mario uses up his action to change party members. And then I can do this and spend some of my precious mana sweeping the board. 2 high damage dealers are removed, and now I'm taking no damage. You see? Again, I know this is all small-scale stuff. This is all fairly basic stuff. I'm just emphasizing how the game, even at this point, which is effectively the first stage, is tutorializing the idea of tactics when it comes to combat. Later on, that gets a lot meaner. No. Oh, there's no... Is there no quick slot for swapping in this one? I actually don't remember. Hold on. Nope. How do I swap party members? Oh god! This game... That's actually an interesting question, Lord Hanamon. This game can actually be pretty mean, believe it or not. This is something that Alex mentioned yesterday. You do kind of have to engage with the tactics to progress. There's not a lot of just overpowering the enemies. The next game is arguably easier because you have more options, but is functionally harder because it's got a lot of good difficulty design. I know that sounds strange, but you know what I mean, right? It's the same as Final Fantasy V, if you're familiar with that. A lot of people say FF5 is easy because you have options to push through the game. By contrast, by contrast, in this game, you don't have as many options in order to push through the game, but you also don't need them as much. Is it a similar problem to Doom 5? I'll be paying attention, because I'm extremely used to replaying this game a billion trillion times, so I'm probably a bad person to ask that. So we'll be paying attention, like I said. How do I swap party members? D-pad doesn't do anything. Okay, hold on. Okay, so that doesn't... There we go. It's ZR and A. I knew there was a shortcut for it. ZR and A. On the N64 controller, that was just one of the D-pad buttons. Or rather, one of the yellow buttons. We do have one, Spartan. We should not make one. Sorry, Blade Joel. It changes per area, if it makes you feel any better. Unfortunately, as we've already established, I can't actually ding the game for that. Because we're not reviewing the Switch version of the game, as we talked about. So that would be another thing the Switch version would change. So I'm going to just blow this, because this is a large group of high-damaging enemies. And that's what these kind of items are for. By memory, my favorite Mario RPG was Paper Mario 2. But if you hadn't forced me to pick one of the Mario and Luigi's, I'd probably go with 3, which is Bowser's Inside Story. So, this is something they do a lot. You notice there's just this weird crack in the wall here? Just remember that for later. Generally speaking, I don't think we'll have much in the way of difficulty cliffs in this game, and I hesitate to even say that, because I'm just jinxing myself by saying that. I don't think SMRPG is that good. Whoa, Mario, what the... Oh, we're in a world of hurt. Mario's here already. I gotta tell the leader, Red Koopa! Let me rephrase that sentence slightly. A lot of people hold SMRPG as one of the greatest RPGs ever made. I am not one of those people. So, the bombs. '97 is certainly a high score, but again, it's not best RPG ever territory. This is a Bob-omb. Bob-ombs are pretty temperamental, and they get steaming mad when you attack them. Better not jump on them when they're angry, or they'll blow up in your face. In fact, stay away entirely. Attack them from a distance with items like hammers, or you can send in other things like shells. So, this is tutorializing yet another aspect of combat, believe it or not. I'm going to pause just so I can talk about this, because this is something Pokemon does, but I actually know people who don't know that this is a thing in Pokemon. there's touch attacks and then there's ranged attacks, for lack of a better way to put that. In other words, if I hit someone with a hammer, it's considered a ranged attack. But if I body slam someone, that's considered a touch attack, right? This will be relevant when we get our next party member who actually has a body slam attack. So she has to run up and actually physically hit them. If she does, and they have a forward defense of any kind, like the Bob-ombs do, they take damage. Make sense? There's some enemies in Chapter 2 that have a similar concept to that. And once again, it's just another little layer to the combat. I realize this all sounds very complicated, but I swear none of it is. Like, it's all fairly self-apparent, sense-making stuff, and all of it is tutorialized fairly smoothly. Okay, here's an enemy with spikes on it, so don't run into it, or don't jump on it. Okay, here's an enemy that has defenses, so you knock it over, so its defenses go away. Okay, here's an enemy that does extra damage, so you try to get rid of them as quickly as possible. Like, it's fairly basic stuff, but we're not done tutorializing, and we won't be for a while. So, we're going to have him go first. Get rid of the Koopa. Horribly murder him. Yeah, exactly, Blade Tavol. Like, is this going to sound very strange? I'm actually just going to defend. No, don't run. God dang it. I actually didn't mean to do that. Yeah, exactly. This enemy is on fire. Don't touch it. It's all fairly self-apparent stuff. Now I'm off my game. And that's why I don't think it's going to be quite as bad as something like some other games we've covered, where they require you to remember that if the X equals 13.7 to the blue, then you have to use green, but only on a Tuesday, but only if there's a moon out. If there's no moon out on a Tuesday, then you use red, but unless you actually had corn today for lunch. And if you had it for lunch, it's a blue. But if you had it for dinner, then it's a green and a red at the same time. And that probably sounds like an exaggeration. And if it does, then you haven't been playing the same games I have. I have seen games that go way overboard with trying to complicate their combat to the extent... do nothing. To the extent that it just becomes nonsense, right? Yeah, purple squares are orange-scented fish. Hate the lemons. Ah! Okay, so. Tactics. I'm going to headbop with Goombario first. That's going to lower his HP, activate him, so now he's angry. And then we're going to use the hammer to finish him off. Because it's not a touch attack. See? If I'd done that the other way around and had Goombario finish him off, Goombario would have taken the damage from that. Notice they also only throw us at one bomb first. It also kind of means that you have to think about whether or not you want to do first strikes at all or not, because it immediately does that. However, because I did the first strike immediately, I can just take him out like that. Now, I'm also going to show off what happens here if they are in active mode when they attack you. That. I mean, melee and ranged is another perfectly valid way to think of this, too. So, I should mention something. If you'll forgive me, since this isn't a lore run, which we already did, and I don't want to completely kill my voice, but please trust me when I say that Goombario has tattles for every room in the entire game. And every enemy. And every NPC. I can just be like, hey, this fortress stays cool all the time because it's built entirely of stone. And there's so much. There's so much dialogue in this game. It's pretty chill inside this fortress, isn't it? Must be because there's so much water inside. That's what I mean. Every room has its own tattle thing. All of them. Hey, Cyclops. Another one of those cracks in the wall. Let's see the great Mario get any farther now. Eek! Mario, you, don't try any... You'll never find your way through this fortress! Looks like there might be some fighting here. How exciting! See ya! Yeah, a good lore dump character. I'm only not doing it on camera because I don't want to just absolutely. Let's just do this. Bury these streams in dialogue. That's going to be true in Paper Mario 2 as well. But trust me when I say I eat the lore up in this game like candy. When I found out, because I didn't know at first, when I found out that Goombario has a different dialogue for every area and every NPC in the game, I actually immediately restarted the game when I found that out, which was somewhere on the Yoshi's Island, I want to say. And I was just like, no, I'm redoing everything. I want to hear every little scrap of lore. All of it. It's good stuff. It's great stuff, actually. It's what we usually call background lore. Whoop! Did you see that bit of tutorialization? God, I love this game. This is definitely a qualifier for basic but good. I have... okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna swap to Cooper. And we're gonna sweep. This is gonna hurt, but it's gonna get rid of both of them this round. This is what I wanted. Well, you see, Trihexia, Kamek is so loyal because... Anyways, we now know how to reach that jump because the guy just came out from that room. Okay. There we go, that was weird. So this is the Power Bounce, arguably the most important badge in the game, and one of the biggest reasons why they tutorialize how to get this exact badge. Now, I don't remember the exact math here, but here's the deal. It is so, okay. Some of you may know that there's this thing called the Power Bounce back in Super Mario RPG. It allows you to jump on the enemy with extremely precise timing, 3 frames, I believe, each jump, in order to keep bouncing on them essentially forever. When I say essentially forever, I mean it caps you at 100. Paper Mario 1 was like, whoa, it's way overpowered. Because if you can just keep jumping on someone forever in a game where 1 HP is substantial, that's just going to absolutely curb stomp everything. So they put in a weird system. When you start a Power Bounce, there's an RNG that's rolled, which decides how many jumps you can get. Even with absolutely perfect timing, you cannot go past a certain amount because the game won't let you. And it varies based on when you exactly do it. Now, I forget the range, so forgive me for the vague information here. Despite that limitation, Power Bounce is still usually considered one of the best badges in the game because it's still like 6+ jumps on average, if I'm not mistaken. And 6 jumps is, at the bare minimum, 6 damage. Which, as we already talked about, is a fairly large amount of damage. God dang it. I'm gonna go ahead and blow this. I'm gonna recover after this fight. Neither did I, Rex. I didn't find that out until speedrunning. Fun little side anecdote. So, obviously, I've been, you know, speedrunning since, like, 5th grade or something like that. Without knowing what it was called, without knowing that there was a term for it, right? Pop the mushroom. But I didn't actually know that speedrunning was a thing, or that there was a term for it, or that there was a community for it until much more recently. Like around 2009 or so. The very, very, very first game that I ever encountered for speedrunning is this one. Pure coincidence. I just happened to catch a recording of someone who was archiving his runs. Ooh, that's not good. Do I? No, I don't. Okay. This would have been a great time with that fire flower. That's okay, we can work through this. Anyways, it was the first time I'd encountered the concept of speedrunning, and I can't describe it properly other than the moment I saw this person speedrunning, it emboldened within me a hunger for speedrunning. I had never realized the concept before. You know that kind of thing, right? When you're introduced to something you never realized you wanted. But the moment you interact with it, it's like, oh my god. I've always wanted this, you know. Usually it's like with a type of food, or maybe a specific type of show, or movie, or game. For me, that was speedrunning. So, slow-moded, but we still took no damage. So, sure, Shadow Machine, go ahead and hit me. What'd they do to it? I'll admit I tend to approach a lot of combat with the take no damage perspective, because that's one of my highest goals in this game. Make sure I don't get hit. At least in part, that's because I tend to have very low health in these games. Oh, that's cute, Shadow Machine. I can see why they do it, too. There are many tricky parts of the castle. I wonder who built it. It's pretty curious looking. Any percent for Paper Mario? Any percent for Paper Mario should be like 38 minutes or something like that. Unless it's changed. Oh, absolutely off the deep end. Looks like they turned this large chamber into a prison cell. There's a bunch of bombs. And one that has a slightly higher resolution than the others. I wonder who that is. But yeah, several people have asked me over the years, how do you get into speedrunning? And the biggest two pieces of advice I always give is make sure it's a game you really, really like replaying a lot. Because you may learn to hate that game as you're speedrunning it. But the other thing I always advise is make sure it's a game that you really like the music in. So you're going to be hearing a lot of it. 33 minutes. Damn! Just damn. Seems strange to keep so much water in the building. Do you think it's here to keep the bombs from burning the place down? Or maybe it's just for Koopas to bathe in? I mean, it's nice that it keeps the place so cool, but I'm still suspicious. Let's keep moving, huh? Oh, jeez. Yeah, I would also not recommend doing lengthy games for speedrunning. Not something I recommend. I'm gonna go ahead and tattle that guy. This is a paratrooper. No surprises here. Paratroopers are Koopas with wings. When you jump on them or use a power block, their wings fall off and they become normal troopers. And that's actually kind of interesting. So you'll notice I only hit the one trooper once because I screwed up. Damn, Ross! Who hit it? Who got the record? So to demonstrate, let's hope I do this correctly. If I successfully get the second attack, it banks the attack. Whereas on the first guy, it didn't. Make sense? To explain this differently, you can queue damage in this game. So, like, an enemy that's flying, that can be tipped over. If I hit them twice, they'll land and then get tipped over. A lot of this kind of stuff isn't really positive territory so much as absence of negative territory, but it once again shows that intelligence systems knew what the hell they were doing. It makes sense they'd been making Fire Emblem games for years before this. I don't know Milton. I know a few Paper Mario speedrunners, but not that one. Actually, one thing I've pointed out a few times is when you think of this game from the perspective of this is the Fire Emblem developers, a lot of this game suddenly makes a lot more sense. Because as I pointed out this several times, this game is surprisingly tactical. Like that earlier fight I had with the bombs. I didn't have anything I could sweep with, I didn't have any items I could use to ignite them, so I decided to just very carefully, slowly knock down the Koopas, and make sure I was defending against each of the bombs, which nullified them, and then always attacking with Goombario first, and then hammering second. Again, it's just simple, you know? Simple but intuitive. Like, for example, I'm going to attack that Troopo first. Even though he's not damaged, it nullifies both of them, and now I will take no damage next turn. That's right, I'm about to set the record for this game. By default. I have a lot of by default records, which says a lot about the variety of games I stream, I think. Always badges. We want all of those badge points. I'm not even joking. It probably looks like I'm memeing. I'm really not. Real talk, if you're playing this game for the first time, which I recommend, by the way, if you don't, you can get it on the Switch Online. Go into badges. Level up your badge first. There's a lot of reasons why, but it boils down to, that's your equipment points. That's how you equip stuff. Yeah, it's the exact same with Thousand Year Door. There's actually even an asterisk. I'll show it off really quick here after this fight. I was just about to show that off, Rex. Because if you're paying attention, I actually have one of those on right now. Ahem. So, right now I have 10 health and 5 FP. You're probably thinking, no you don't, but hang on. HP pluses take 3 badges. Now this is actually kind of fascinating in its own way, because you get 3 badge points per level up, or you can gain an HP up, which gives you 5 HP. If you have an HP plus badge, it gives you 5 HP. Now, this is actually brilliant, and I mean that sincerely, because it gives you that level of malleability. It means that getting the badge points in this game is actually objectively better, at least for the first upgrade, because I can spend those 3 badge points on HP, same exact equivalence, right? Exact cost, it's 1 level. Or I have 3 badge points I can distribute amongst other stuff. I am going to go and put on Power Bounce, though. Dizzy Attack, eh. We don't have any of the really fun badges yet. We'll talk about the shards when we get... I think it's 16, yeah, so we need to start a few more. Mario 64 references. Fire bars are a menace. They're hot to the touch. They'll hurt you if you touch them. Somebody said there's a way to destroy them. How do you think we do that? There's so many tiny details in this game. This game arguably should... I don't know if it qualifies for the second replay positive, but it's definitely something we need to discuss. Because there are so many little details that can and do vary on second playthrough. Although, having said that, I just realized something. I need to give this game a negative. I gotta look up what negative that is, but we're gonna do it. Negative to gameplay. It's not Thousand Year Door. Hello? Miyamoto's is like, at last! I have proven that this game sucks. There it is. Okay. So I'll only give a single negative for this. That's what I was double checking. But it's time to give a negative to story. Okay, moving on. I've actually already given that negative room here. Like, I'm sorry. Limiting us from time to tax until we learn about time to tax was a terrible idea. SMRPG and Paper Mario 2 both do that a lot smarter. They teach you about time to tax later, but the mechanic exists before that. For those of you not aware, in case I didn't emphasize this earlier, you are physically incapable of doing time to tax until the game introduces them. In this game. And that is an awful idea. And yeah, the tutorialization at the beginning of the game is honestly pretty bad. I actually gave another negative for that. Yes, this is 2000. August 11th of 2000. I was just looking at it. Japanese version, obviously. I mean, of course I'm not going to go through the obvious trap. Well, considering what's about to do, I should mention that the timing window on the bounces changes a little bit based on certain variables. That's true in Thousand Year Door as well. One of the things is the height of the enemy. Some enemies also hover. This is true in Super Mario RPG. So because of their hovering, where exactly the hit window is changes every frame. Just because of how they coded it. When did FF10 come out? In Japan. You know, maybe it'd be better to ask when FF10 came out in English, actually. Because that would also be something. Anyway, so if you don't go into the obvious trap, you're actually stun locked here. No, you're right, Blade Tavol. It did absolutely create more programming work. I don't know is the answer. It's a really strange decision. Like... And as I've already complained about, it makes every combat until you finish the entire first dungeon and 3 tutorial bosses boring. It's why the first 2 fights in the game are literally cutscenes. You just mash A, and that's it. So anyways, we fell for the trap. Whatever. Oh, what was that? Where did that fall from? Oh, I wondered what just fell, but aren't you... Mario? I never in a million years thought I'd meet such a famous guy in a place like this. Who, me? My name's Bombette. In case you hadn't noticed, I'm a Bob-omb. Pleased to meet you. Hi. That Bob-omb's been jailed. Do the Koopa brothers have short tempers, you think? If we had a Bob-omb on our side during battles, it would really catch the Koopa brothers off guard. Hint! Hint! I'm sorry, I simply will not obey it. I should do a Russian accent here. Hang on. Let me do my best Russian accent. Give me a second. I'm sorry. I simply will not obey those tyrants anymore. Those Koopa brothers can squash the pride of a Bob-omb. So, I'm using all my energy thinking of a way to break out of here. Oh, angles. Vectors. Oh, it's so complicated. My head's going to explode. All of us Bob-ombs got locked in here by the Koopa Brothers. Nothing we could do about it. Koopa Brothers used to be cool, but they got conceited because Kammy Koopa likes them. Before, they were just typical young guys from the Koopa Village. They were nice enough. I think maybe the desire for adventure corrupted them. That's right. A lot of villains will become villainous because of desires for revenge, or power, or money, or for love of a specific individual, or because they need to do it to take care of their child's payments or whatever. No. They became cool because they had a lust for adventure. Be wary, kids. Bob-omb's been jailed. I wonder what he did to the Koopa Brothers. I thought Bob-ombs and Koopa Brothers worked together in harmony. The stinking Koopa Bros. They work us too hard. They were making us work for 25 hours a day. Unreal. Nobody's life should be all work, right? I need free time to make my mark on the world. Bob-ombs were jailed. What if they got hurt when they blow themselves up? I mean, they blow up all the time, so they must enjoy it. Once they start exploding, they can't stop. It blows my mind. Oh, how long do I have to be locked up here? I'm losing hope. I'm so hungry and sad and mad and angry. I'm filling with rage. I'm really angry now. I want out right now. Do you hear me, Koopas? The Bob-ombs were jailed. It really seems to dislike the Koopa Brothers. I wonder who'll live here if we manage to boot out the Koopa Brothers. Probably the Bob-ombs. She's named Bombette. That pink is adorable. She does seem to be pretty strong-willed. Her future boyfriend might be in some trouble. But I'm taken. Anyways. What's that? Why am I locked up here? 'Cause I'm a menace. At least to these guys. Those uncouth Koopa Brothers. I was just in one of the many Bob-ombs working here. But those Koopa Brothers. Once Bowser took over, they started working us into the ground. I couldn't take it anymore, so I exploded next to them. Yeah, that was a mistake. The Koopa Brothers didn't like it, so they locked me in here. And then they locked up the rest of the Bob-ombs because they thought they might rise up. You know, a Bob-omb rebellion. What do you think about that? Oh, sorry. It's a long story, I know. You know, it's really funny. I have encountered so many examples of empty text in JRPGs specifically over the years. And yet I can think of 3 examples of JRPGs where a character says something short and then says, oh, sorry for rambling, or oh, sorry for such a long story, or sorry for derailing, or whatever. And I just like to think they didn't know. They didn't know how bad it would get someday. So yes, I will help you. Oh, how nice. We'll be good friends from now on. I can feel it. We'll make a super team. 3rd party member. She explodes. Oh, you know what, Fife? Yes. No, Bombette is female. Lord Haremont. Damn right they are, Mad Overlord. So yeah, there's cracks in the wall. Here's how this works. And now we know how to interact with the cracks in the walls. See what I bring to the party? Huh? Oh, an escape route. Well, I guess I never thought about doing that before. I was so mad I just blew up over and over in one place. Tee-hee. Anyway, we can get out now, right? So can everyone else. Thank you, Mario. For now on, I'll tag along and help however I can. Enough chit-chat. I have a little score to settle with the Koopa Brothers. So this is Bombette. She is objectively the worst party member in gameplay terms. What's all this noise? In case you Bob-ombs forgot, exploding's prohibited inside the fortress except for emergencies. What in the... Mario? Or, if you get rid of the dots, what in the Mario? Yeah, probably Zactad. So, I'm just going to demonstrate something here. Well, not yet, apparently. This is her basic attack. It's a melee attack. As we talked about earlier, that's problematic. Why don't you do nothing? Because I want to show something off here. I did not know that Roman cure, although that doesn't surprise me. What am I doing? Right. So, let's attack this guy. And now she's out for a turn. So her basic attack is the worst attack in the game. It can only attack ground, it has no piercing or other special effects whatsoever, and it's a melee attack. The second problem with her I'll discuss in just a second. Let's just chill for a second. The second problem with her is her abilities. Bomb costs 3 mana. We currently have 5. Now, all that does is do a piercing hit to a single target. Now, it's a decent-sized hit, but it's a single-target piercing hit, and it costs a huge chunk of mana. Her next ability costs way more mana than that, and it's an AoE on the ground. I think her last one's an AoE in the sky or something like that. It just hits the whole screen. But it costs way, 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 way too much mana, and is nowhere near worth what it's actually worth. And that's it. That's Bob-omb. So, like, literally, pound for pound, she is worse than every other companion in the game. You'll probably never see me use her to any substantial extent, except one time when it's actually funny, which is, like, in the second to last stage of the game. Yes, MP is per party, so Mario and companions all pull from the same pool. Yeah, exactly, Rex. I mean, Parakarry and Sushi both have just objectively better screen wipes. Is she a negative worthy for Kit? That's actually a good question. Yeah, she's an HM slave. That's really what she's here to be. She's absolutely mandatory for hitting a couple of switches and blowing up holes in walls. And that's it. Okay, Shadow Machine. That should be fun. Will you bundle up at least, Evo, please? Yeah, exactly, Rex. Like, if... So, how would we improve Bombette? Let's think about that for a second. I don't know, Spartan. That would be terrible, Lord Harriman. I mean, yeah, Admiral Bobbery is exactly the answer there. I feel like the easiest solution to improve her is to move all of her moves one step forward. Her basic attack, her 3 mana attack right now, only hits one thing. Give us a sweeper right off the bat. 3 MP for a sweeper isn't exactly unfeasible, and 5 or whatever it is for the other one for a screen sweeper isn't terrible either, right? HP, so companions don't have HP. So technically, yes, would be the answer to that. I need to do something very, very quickly. I will be right back. Another thing they could do... Yeah, exactly. Like, make her slightly more cost-efficient. Or, and this is something Lord Harrimont mentioned, I think, just make it so that she can burn HP to act. Now, the thing is, she obviously doesn't have HP. But what that would effectively do is create a cooldown situation, right? Kind of like the Brave default system in Bravely Default. So think about it this way. She burns 3 HP to do a screen sweep, right? That means she does this big-ass attack and then can't be used for 3 turns afterwards. She's just sitting there injured, right? Now, that could still be worth it in some circumstances. Maybe it'll get rid of the little stuff. Maybe it clears off the trash on a boss. Maybe it ends the encounter so it doesn't matter that she's stunned, right? Something like that might have worked. Oh, right. Pay attention to where you're at in the dungeon, Laura. She looks really cute when she's jumping. Oh my god, that's adorable. That's true. You can also just straight up make her friendly fire to Mario. You want to do a big-ass bomb? You can. Ah! Like I said, there's ways they could have improved Bombette. They didn't do them. So, she sucks. I know it happens very quick, but you can kind of see her going, oh. She's just adorbs. But yeah, we're not going to be seeing a lot of her. In fact, I'm already going to swap her out for another party member. Cuteness pluses are important. And yeah, having some kind of proper cost of high damage is certainly a feasible thing, especially in an RPG. I don't know. I actually do give pluses for cuteness. Legitimately. Whoops. Exactly, Rex. Just gonna lock that in. So we're gonna slow mode this fight just to make sure we take as little damage as possible. This isn't exactly a difficult dungeon, but it's a good example of how the game is teaching you what dungeon design is in this game. Namely, conservation of resources. I know that sounds like a duh, because any dungeon, especially in an RPG, is supposed to teach you about conservation of resources. But actually, I don't know, this game in general tends to live and breathe that concept a bit more than some RPGs I've played. Like, it's very easy to just front-load absolutely everything in the beginning of a dungeon, and then be screwed for the rest of it. I guess as I'm saying that out loud, that's not exactly exclusive to this game, but you get the idea. I'm still waiting for the negative comments to come in the Yume Nikki runs. It's okay, nobody's even going to watch those. Nobody will even ever hear of my little... That's one of the advantages of being a dinky little corner of the internet. I don't have to deal with fandoms. I have had to deal with a fandom of a game once, and it sucked. Like, it was unironically terrible. Arcanum. No, the Halo thing was relatively fine compared to the non-stop toxic sludge that I still periodically get from the Arcanum fandom. I just had a random idea. Only you, Cycloud. Only you. One second. I just have this really random, dumb idea here. My favorite thing about the Arcanum fandom is how the only thing they can really be upset about is the fact that I pronounce it Arcanum. I don't even do it on purpose, to be honest with you. Did I crap on the game? Nope. In fact, I praised it probably more than it deserves to be praised, to be completely honest with you. And I talked fairly in-depth about a lot of the concepts and ideas and side quests and all kinds of stuff. But no. Pronunciations. No, I know you're poking fun, Evo. It's just... God. And that's fandoms in a nutshell, isn't it? They get really, really upset about stupid things like that. Hang on. This is how we're going to stream from now on. Perfect, see? No, I'm joking. Hang on a second, though. There we go. Ta-da! And now that text is gone from my screen. Yay! Okay, moving on. So you can actually see it there now. Alright, where the hell am I at in the dungeon? Oh no, I moved it wrong. Oh shoot. It's in the wrong space. Down a bit more. There we go. Well, I've never, like, talked about the Halo TV series Trihexe, so I've never had any interaction with the Halo fandom, for obvious reasons, I suppose. Not counting the stream. Where am I in the dungeon? Do I have a key right now? Nope. Okay. I'm sorry for making you listen to this song over and over. Exactly, Ross. What's funny is I've certainly had some interesting interactions with Star Trek fandom over the year, but I don't think I've ever really gotten to interact with the Trek fan base. Because the Trek fan base are... well, they're the same as any fan base. Let's just say that how it is. Wake up! Yeah, exactly, Ross. Yeah, the worst I get on the Trek side of things is people insisting I don't understand a particular episode. Or, people insisting that I'm a warhawk, which is one of the weirdest statements I've ever heard. But I've gotten a lot of that. Mostly on the Deep Space Nine stuff. Oh, we're not even talking about the Voyager comments. That's its own category of, huh? Notice, by the way, we're effectively ahead of the leveling curve right now, so I'm not really prioritizing engaging in any encounter, every encounter right now. Because, you know, duh. I do need to check one thing really quick, just super quick. No, it's actually over here in settings, I think. Can't really see what I'm doing. There we go. This should be it. We good? No, we are not good. What do you know? Is it sad that I could tell? Yeah, pretty much, Spartan. That's exactly where that was coming from. Yep, it was even my right controller that was giving me issues, too. Good luck, Evo. For realsies. I'm pulling for you. Here, I'll prove it. Come on! Come on, Evo! Ah, she's too strong. I give up. I give up. I mean, it's a great scene, Ross. That people have complained about for years. Alright, I mean, Peter Weller's amazing. I got nothing to add to that. I don't know if I'd go with a preemptive nuclear strike. But only because that didn't work. It's almost like we're people off the deeper end. Okay, so this is a weird little set piece. Don't worry, the music's about to change. Oh, well, well, Mario. I wouldn't have bet you'd make it this far. Don't get smug, pal. You just caught us off guard. Trust me, we'll mop the floor with you if we get serious. We're as cool as they come. Yeah, boys. Open fire! Doing that. There we go. So, one of the first things I tried, the very first time I ever played this game, was to sit here and farm infinite experience. I think I've talked about this before because we've covered Super Mario RPG and Final Fantasy VI, but one of the things I used to make a game of is trying to find infinite experience loops in RPGs. Most RPGs don't actually have them. Just in general. Well, this is as close as we get in Paper Mario, but the thing is, and I think I've already told you this, at a certain point enemies stop giving experience. This is a Bullet Bill, a kamikaze attacker. If you don't beat a Bullet Bill quickly, they'll slam into you and explode. I'm serious, these guys really make us pay if they manage to hit us. We have to beat them before they give us a chance to strike. Yeah, but I wanted to tattle first. And now I'm suffering for it. But anyways, that's how I discovered that the experience caps out at a certain point. So watch this. Nothing, because they have a defense. Not the first enemy we fought with a defense, but the first enemy we fought with a defense which we can't pierce by knocking them over. So now we have a problem. Now, some playthroughs I'll actually hold on to my POW block for this fight. Not really, Spartan. Luigi wouldn't get his own game until a year after this in Luigi's Mansion. Okay, so let's tattle. There's a Bill Blaster. Bill Blasters are cannons that shoot billet bills. One defense. That's all they need. It's efficient to attack them all at once, but you can also beat them one at a time. Notice we also have the mini-boss music for this. Alright, Cooper, do me a favor. Do your thing. So, Cooper's one of the better early party members, if it's not obvious. Like, again, objectively. Gameplay-wise, might be a better way to put that. However, you'll notice he still can't actually damage these things. Pretty much the only thing that really can is us. Unfortunately, we're screwed. Let me think about this for a second. There's actually later enemies we could use this on, but let's go and blow this now. Damn! So that's pure RNG. And, enough said, really. What's funny is I know some people who think this is harder than the actual boss of this area. And I'm not sure I disagree. Did you also notice the other little bit of good design here? So, the enemy AI is actually very simple. Pop out bullet bills, and then once all the bullet bills are dead, do nothing for a turn. I know that sounds like a really minor thing, but it helps to emphasize how much thought was put into the design of this game. It would be very easy for them to just do a thing where they pop out a bullet bill every turn. That would be the easiest thing to program. It would also be easy to program it so that they throw out a bullet bill every time their bullet bill isn't out. But they don't do either of these things. Instead, they check to see if they've already tossed their bullet bills out, and if they haven't, they do nothing for a turn. The reason why is this way you can... whoops. Wrong fault. Look at my stupid phone. This way, there's no getting overwhelmed by it, right? Yeah, you get a turn to just do some damage. Otherwise, you'd be spending pretty much every single round trying to sweep, and this game isn't designed like that. You just do not have the mana capacity to sweep every single round. Once it's down to 1, we have this under control, but yeah. This fight can be pretty mean, and is kind of a bit of a final exam fight, which is funny, because again, this isn't actually the first boss. But let's go fight the first boss, shall we? Boy, the air is refreshing up here, huh? Look at the view. Isn't that Pleasant Path down there? Oh yeah, Pleasant Path. That's what it's called. Sorry, one second. You guys ready? Hey, Black, what are you doing? Hurry, man, shake a leg. Oh, absolutely, Rex. If you haven't seen a speedrun for this game, they're nuts. I look forward to showing off at least one when we get there, because this game is wild. Ow, my shell, get off. Wait a minute. Whoa. Oh, for the love of... What are you doing, Yellow? That doesn't look cool at all. Okay, hang on. Okay. I'm ready, Red. Finally. Let's do this. Remember, look cool, guys. Hang on. Let's do this. Time to fight the coolest of all bad guys. Bowser. I've been waiting for you, Mario. The strongest and the coolest. Behold the glory that is the great evil King Bowser. It's time for me to beat these foolish ideas out of you. Saving Peach, please. Watch this and weep. Oh my god, that's so impressive. I'm in shock and awe at your power. Please, spare me. Bowser? But he looks kind of lame. I mean, he's lame anyway, but whatever. Does Bowser really look like this? I always imagine him looking a lot scarier. I'm invincible. You're powerless before me. If I was to do a theater of this, I wouldn't even have the person, like, I wouldn't have Red Koopa even doing a voice. Just do their normal voice. Also, I love that Cooper is just kind of better for this fight than Bombette, even though we just got Bombette. I love this game, but there's a couple of question marks. What's the matter with you? This isn't even funny. You can't even touch me? You know, yeah, oh, haha, you're so weak. Oh, I just can't stop laughing. Mario really thinks we're King Bowser. Shh, Mario will hear us. Guys. You're pathetic. Are you always this weak? The sequel should be called Paper Bowser. I'd play that. Red, we got rips in a lot of different places here. Forget about it. Mario's shaking in his boots. Let's get him. And yes, that's insane, Zacteft. As always, teleportation is an overpowered ability. What's the matter with you? This isn't even funny. You can't... Oh, hang on. We finally looped. We finally looped in the dialogue. Because I'm technically a turn behind because I insisted on doing the tattle. I would play the crap out of that off the deep run. I'm not joking. I mean, Bowser's Inside Story is my favorite Mario and Luigi game for a reason. Okay, so we're going to set things up a little bit specifically here. Actually, you know what we should do is we should set up a save point here. Okay. Oh no, that costume was perfect! Bowser loved it! Did you see the Peach picture inside as it was falling off the bridge? Here come the Koopa Bros! Okay, real final boss. Okay, Mario, have a taste of this. Koopa Bros Special Super Spinning Attack! Yeah, that actually hits really hard. 4 damage. Here's the catch. But they're super weak to it, so they actually all get knocked over if you knock them out of it. God damn it. This is Red Ninja Koopa. He's the Koopa Brothers leader. He's pretty much just a normal Koopa Troopa, though. Yep, HP 5, attack bar 1, defense bar 1. He has a little bit of defense bar, but you can flip him, just like a normal Koopa Troopa. Stay down. God damn it. Cannot get the timing on that right. But yeah, as you can see, we can just keep them stun locked forever. As long as we're getting our second bump, we're doing damage to them, just slowly. So this is the boss fight. There's other ways to do this, of course. Depends on your setup. And as was pointed out, if you've been raising your FP, this is actually a good fight for Bombette. I don't know why I keep getting that on red and nobody else. Look at that. I wonder what's going through their heads as we're just doing this to them over and over. Could you please let us get up? Oh yeah, this also introduces another concept this game has, which was kind of unusual at the time. Pretty much every boss in the game has a unique boss music. This is not boss music, this is the Koopa Brothers boss music. Yeah, no, you have to work at it to lose this fight. You really do. By this point, you really should know where you're going with all this. Let's just finish off Red, shall we? Goodbye. They've always got to pose. It's very important. Let's go and grab some other tattles here. Actually, it does, but only when their defense is already lowered, Blade Duval. Okay, they don't actually say anything different. That's what they're... Oh yeah, they can also do that. And the attack power is dynamic. It'll be 2 instead of 4. God damn it. This is actually kind of bad. This is a unique situation that I've put myself into. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna stop screwing around a little bit. And god damn it! Okay, we're gonna immediately screw up and burn 3 FP on nothing. Wow. Yeah, we're just gonna blow that. Kill him. So anyways. Yeah, no more screwing around. Whoa! Cowabunga! There, you can see the Peach poster a little bit better there. So not only are they in prison, but they taped up the way out on their way out, which I find amusing. Hello? Somebody let us out of here. God, I'm not sure of Blade Javal. Could be a better fight, but I actually still think that's a decent boss fight. It does everything that a boss fight should do this early into the game, because it is our first boss, our first actual boss fight. And it teaches us about, like, obviously this whole dungeon has been teaching us about using tactics in combat, but that's probably the first time it's essentially mandatory. You know, knocking them over, rewarding us for knocking over the pillar, and then rewarding us for managing to keep them out of block, and blah, 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 blah. One of the other strategies you can do there, which I didn't show off, is you could, you know, knock them all over, let them all get up, they'll bounce back up, and then knock them all over again. You can just do a loop of that instead of just trying to stun lock them the entire time. If you have lots of FP, and I mean a fairly large amount, you could also use Bombette and just have her obliterate them. Yeah, exactly, Blade Javal. It's kind of exactly what a first boss should be. Possible to lose, but it's there to teach you what a boss fight is more than anything else. And so Mario and his friends beat the Koopa Brothers at their fortress and rescued the first Star Spirit. Still, 6 Star Spirits remained imprisoned, and they must save them as quickly as they can. The future of the Mushroom Kingdom, Star Haven, and of course Princess Peach, lies in the hands of Mario and his new friends. Their adventure has just begun. I wonder what Mario's doing right now. I wonder if he's hurt. I'm so worried about him. Eh, he'll be alright, Princess. Well, I bet he's saving some Star Spirit right now. Yeah, you're right, Twink. I must be strong. I need to concentrate on finding a way out of here. There are tons of guards just beyond your door. And it's impossible for you to escape through the window. Oh, wait a minute. Remember the minister telling me there was a secret passage out of this room. Twink, help me look for it. I mean, you're right off the deeper end. I was mostly joking because, you know, we get our freaking timed attacks. Ah, thank you, silly idea. It is good to see you. I hope you're doing as well as you can. How to play video games on a job's PC without getting caught by AT. That's easy. Just be really good about alt-tabbing and play with the sound off. Boom. Done. One second here. Yeah, Cooper... There is a strategy I've actually used of knocking them over, doing using Mario's turn to switch to Kooper, and then using Kooper's turn to just nail all 4 of them. But it's a lot of effort for... I could have done it this time to show it off, but whatever. It's a good game, silly idea. What do you want from me? Off, Mortis, Ghost, Prototype, and the Kingdom Hearts block. Also, Princess Peach has fallen asleep. I mean, if you know what you're doing, there's not really such a thing as a fight in this game that's hard, other than the super optionals, of which there are technically 3. Admittedly, all 3 of those are kind of mean. Sorry, jotting down some thoughts here, don't mind me. Wake up. Cool, now we can get out of this room. I would not walk... Ah! Okay. It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. Not exactly a quiet mechanism, but sure. I've actually only fought the super optional in Paper Mario 2 once. It's not because of the fight itself, although that is certainly brutal. It's reaching it is just a pain. Like, it's a time consumer. Hey, look at this. It looks like somebody left a private diary just lying around. Should we read it? Yes. Oh, you like doing this sort of thing, don't you? Tisk, tisk. Okay, then, very quietly. Let's see. Day 00, month star. Yeah. Sunny. Today I went to Star Haven and stole the Star Rod. Now I'm invincible. Cool. I also captured those 7 star spirits so they won't annoy me anymore. It was a hard day's work, and I'm feeling pretty bushed. Dinner was nice, but a bit bland. I feel like I might know the person who wrote this. Should we read more? Day 0, X, month star. Cloudy, then sunny. Today was great, diary. I used my castle to lift Princess Peach's castle all the way into the sky. Then I barged into Peach's castle and beat up Mario. Yeah! Unbelievable, I know. So fun. And there's more. After that, I kidnapped Princess Peach. I couldn't be happier, diary. I hope she likes me. Princess Peach, this is Bowser's diary. Ugh! Alright, let's read more. Day XX, month star. Sunny. Well, the Koopa Bros got beaten by Mario, diary. He even set free that stupid star spirit I kept there. I'm so mad I can barely write. Oh, I'm Mario. I'm so big and strong and good and helpful. I hate him, but I'm not worried. There's no way Mario can save the star spirit held in the Dry Dry Ruins. To do that, he'd have to solve the mystery of the sands and find the Dry Dry Ruins in the Dry Dry Desert. How could he even know to go to the desert anyway? So I'm not worried at all. In fact, I'm so calm, I'm gonna go to bed now. Dry Dry Ruins in the middle of the Dry Dry Desert? One of the revered star spirits is being held there. Twink! Do you think you can find Mario and tell him that? Yes, of course, Princess Peach. I'll find Mario right away. Huh? Oh no! I can't believe I left my secret diary lying out. It would be so embarrassing if someone were to read that thing. I love the resignation on her face. Like, alright, whatever. What? What's the princess doing here? Ugh, you little sneak. You read my diary. King Bowser, is there a problem? You're the worst guards ever. Take Princess Peach back to her room. Immediately. Yes, sir. Straight away. Forgive us, sir. Yeah. Honestly, yeah, Mr. Red. The core meat of this game isn't going to get a lot of positives. It's a fairly basic plot, but it is extremely well told, in my opinion. One of the more common criticisms I've heard over the years is that people unfairly criticize Sticker Star because, I mean, honestly, Sticker Star is just the same story as this game. Now, I've encountered that kind of argument before. I can't remember a specific example off the top of my head other than the one I just gave, but you know the type, right? It's where they say, well, this is the same as that, therefore why do you like this and not like this other thing, right? And the problem is, what they're saying is already wrong because those two things are not the same. Execution matters. Presentation matters. Specifics matter. They might be the same genre or the same type or whatever. You know what? I'll give you a specific example. Lore, you like Final Fantasy, so why don't you like anime? That's something that I've heard a lot. And the answer is because they're different things. So yeah, Paper Mario 1 and Sticker Star, if you zoom the camera out enough, and trust me, you gotta zoom quite a ways out, look the same from the story axis, because, you know, Bowser shows up and captures the MacGuffin, and then seals the pieces of the MacGuffin away behind his minions, which you have to go then defeat, and going through various stages in order to get to the boss battle, and blah, blah, blah. But, like, it's kind of the same thing as saying that, the Emoji Movie is the same as Avengers Endgame. And I'm not even being facetious with that comparison. Because after all, if you zoom the camera out enough, right? Yeah, I like Star Trek. Why don't I like Battlestar Galactica? What? Anyways, I believe you'll save us all. From the bottom of my heart, I appreciate all you've done. Thank you. Since you have freed me from my prison, the seal of my power is broken, and I will recover it little by little. As long as an ounce of my power remains, I shall help you. Which introduces to our final mechanic. That's actually not true. Our second to last mechanic. Star Spirit Power. Using a star power requires star energy. Would you like to listen while I tell you how to use it? I'll go ahead and showcase this particular thing on camera. Just this once. Now, this is your gauge for star energy. Boop. See? You can check to see how much energy you have. Each star we recover gives us another pip of star energy, by the way. So you have 1 unit now. Yep. Next, allow me to explain about star powers. This power enables you to restore 5 hit points of both HP and FP at once, which is extremely useful. That means we can turn star power into mana, which is... I've already explained how useful mana is in this game, right? There's actually a hidden additional thing, and you see it right there. It also cures poisoning and shrink. Remember that, I'll bring that up in just a second. So, let's go and use refresh. See, both FP and HP have recovered by 5. You used 1 unit of star energy, so you're empty now. Watch your star energy carefully during battle. Usually your partner's turn would come next, and it would be your enemy's turn. But we're just practicing, so let's assume it's Mario's turn again. Okay, it's Mario's turn. Now pay attention. You notice the amount of star energy increase a little bit? Star energy increases every time it becomes Mario's turn. Remember this because it'll be very important. Next I'm going to teach you about another star power, Focus. It's a star power that enables you to increase star energy a little more than usual during a turn. Right now it's almost empty, even though you're slowly refilling it. So try Focus. Notice how much energy increased? Focus helps you increase it much more quickly. I'm pretty sure there's also a badge that lets you focus on your partner, which is extremely useful. You can also replenish it at a Toad House. So yeah, that's another kit. Our kit continues to grow. And it's essentially the same thing as a Limit Break. It's not quite identical, but it fulfills the same gameplay slot as having a Limit Break. It's something that slowly builds up over the course of other actions you do. You can also take specific actions which cost you your turn to increase it more. When you use it, it's extremely useful. In this case, the only ability we have right now is still a really good heal, mana heal, and restorer. Which is a good time as I need to mention why that's significant. To continue talking about how well designed this game is, every star power you get is useful for the next stage you go to. In the upcoming area, the upcoming dungeon we're going to go, is the first time we encounter enemies that poison us regularly. And we just got an ability that just nukes poison, in addition to being a heal and an FP restore. That trend is going to continue throughout the whole game. 7 of us come together, we'll be able to bestow upon you a star power called Star Beam. Star Beam is the only thing that can counteract the Star Rod. I have to go back now, back to Starhaven. I must leave immediately, but I'll always be watching you. Save us all, Mario. Bye. And yeah, to go back to what something Shihali mentioned, Paper Mario 1's story is actually extraordinarily simplistic. But I don't mind that because it's got a lot of good in it. If I can use a direct comparison, Final Fantasy IV. I love Final Fantasy IV, but it's not exactly known for having the deepest and most in-depth, complex, super nuanced story in the history of the ever. It's just a simple, good story. And that's actually a concept I've talked about quite a bit over the years. simple but good is harder to do than it sounds, to be quite honest about it. Now, usually that applies to game design, but it also applies to story. Making a good story that is a simple story is arguably harder than making a complex story that's good, which is probably why most writers try to make as complex stories as they can, and also fail at that, because too complex of a story, or rather, too complicated of a story, is just irritating. Yeah, I'm pretty much with you off the deeper end. It's an undervalued thing. I mean, it makes sense. The reason video games drifted in this direction is obvious. We had years and years of no plots, that's the arcade era. Then we had very simple plots, that's the NES and the early SNES era. And while there were exceptions, and there were, we still had a long period of time where there was just fairly simple plots and fairly static things, and people were like, oh man, we gotta push against this. So by the time we got to the PS1, PS2, and GameCube era, developers and writers really started pushing towards trying to have extremely complicated and overly complicated plots. Okay, I've probably given away my entire opinion about this character by the fact that I just sighed just now. But I want to state without hyperbole, without bias, we do need to decide if Junior Trooper is a negative to story. He's our goldfish poop, or gold poop, oh god, what's that stupid thing? He's Team Rocket, right? He's the bumbling idiot who constantly gets in the way and shoves himself into the narrative. Except he's also some of the most irritating boss fights in the game. Mini boss fights? I don't know. I told you I'd be back, now I'll get my revenge. Here it comes, baby. Check this out. Mario, I'm talking to you. I promise you this fight will be much different than before. Hey, you're Junior Trooper. Are you following us? You need to mellow out. Shut up! You, Mario. Of course you remember me. No. What? Darn it, you don't remember me? Listen, you big lug, my name's Junior Trooper. Remember it and tremble. After this beating, you'll definitely remember it. Get ready to hurt, Mario. I'm going to show you a new skill I just picked up. So now he's got a defense. Your attacks are useless now. What was his name? Junior Trooper? I don't remember exactly. Just joking, kid. He looks adorable hiding his egg, doesn't he? So cute. Should be a snap to beat him now, I think. Yeah, the problem is, he just pops out wherever, and there's several times where he pops up where you haven't had a chance to save recently, and you haven't really had a reason to save recently. And as I mentioned, his fights are actually surprisingly mean. Yeah, he has 2 damage and 1 defense at this point in the game. Think about that for a second. Oh, also 15 HP. The boss we just fought, by the way, had 20. Just to put that into perspective. Oh, and the boss we just fought also had weak points, which we could exploit, and tactics built into the boss inherent, like knocking them over from the pillar, or just keeping them stun-locked. And lowering their defense when you knock them over while we're on the subject. This guy, he just has a defense and 2 attack power. He's a stat wall. Stat walls aren't interesting in general, but they're especially aggravating in a game which is so anti-stats, like this one is. I'm gonna actually try something slightly over here. So I just realized I haven't even shown off this attack, so I should at least show it off once. there's Bombette's attack. Pretty good, right? 3 mana for that. I also have to admit I don't like his battle song, and we'll be hearing a lot of it. Yeah, it's an extremely short loop. That's Junior Trooper. He used to boot us out of the forest near Goomba Village. He thinks he's pretty tough. As far as I can tell, he goes around picking fights with people who are stronger than he is. Talk about Tom. His hobbies are working out and ordering stuff by mail. Anyways. Yeah, I could easily be argued to a full negative story-wise. And it'll be pretty easy to justify some gameplay negatives from down the line. Not really that encounter, but still, that's not a good encounter. Mario! Mario! It's me, Twink. Remember me? I heard you saved the Honorable Star Spirit who was captured by the Koopa Bros. Bowser and his gang are so angry about it. I know you could do it, Mario. You're on your way. Not enough celebration for now. I came bearing important information for you. Seems that one of the Star Spirits is being held captive somewhere in Dry Desert. Bowser wrote it in his diary, someplace called Dry Ruins. The princess braved the dangers of the castle to get you this clue, Mario. I don't know if I'd say that. If we find anything else, I'll hurry back to tell you. I have to go back to Her Highness now. She's so brave. I hope this news helps. So you're already starting to see some of the format there. This is actually kind of a cool concept, and frankly, I wish more RPGs would do this. This is the splitting of the Fellowship in Lord of the Rings. No, really. It's not quite as good, but it's the same concept. These people over here are making sure that these people over here can do their job, right? So, Peach and Twink will go around getting us the intel we need to progress, and Mario will then be like, aha, and then know where to go next. It also informs the player of where you have to progress next to do something. If I could complain about this very briefly, a lot of JRPGs in this era, immediately after the aughts and also going into the 90s, they would just sort of, like, okay, there's this dungeon and sequence of events, and then there's this dungeon and sequence of events, and then there's this dungeon, and there's no real good connecting thread going between them, and no real logic to what you're doing when and why. You're just progressing through the game, and nobody really thought about that. I've actually complained about this before, even in games that are good, like Final Fantasy IV has pretty bad story sequencing, for example. But at least in games like FF4, you can tell where to go next. In some games, you have no idea where to go next. In this case, there's a logical thread pushing us forward, and a built-in in-lore reason why we know where the next destination is. It's because the other part of the game is getting that intel for ourselves. I like that. I like it. Also, hi, Eternus. I'm glad your internet and power are back. Sorry I didn't say anything earlier. God, that was like 10 minutes ago. 8. That was 8 minutes ago. Jesus Christ. Eternus is already gone. He's left. He's abandoned me. Yeah, exactly, Rex. I mean, Final Fantasy I is actually pretty infamous about that. The first part of FF1 is surprisingly well designed. There's always... The initial quest of FF1... See you around, Kennex Cow. Have a good one. The initial quest of FF1 is actually quite well designed, and I think it'll score surprisingly well when we get there. But the moment the moment you get access to leaving the inner lake, it's just, well, here's the spot we can access next. There's no real, like, flow to it whatsoever. It's like they stopped designing it, which makes sense because that's exactly what happened. Cooper, how are you doing? Your mother dropped by for a visit the other day. We had a really nice talk over some Koopa tea. Get it? She did seem a touch disappointed you were still on the road. She said she's going to cook a delicious dinner when you come back, so you have something to look forward to. Oh yes, if you happen to see my wayward husband, please tell him to come home more often. Take care. Call her out his wife. Yeah, that's another good example, Shihali. So I should mention, everyone says something a little bit different every time you come back. So I tend to enjoy coming back and chatting with everyone. But I should also mention this serves a gameplay function. You notice the toad in the middle of the square, as we're coming back, is the guy who says, here's how you get to Dry Dry Desert. And straight up gives us access. This guy also tells you, hey, you can go down there to get to Dry Dry. So, would I recommend this as a good first RPG? Yes, absolutely. Again, simple but solid. There's a lot of, frankly, Nintendo design to this game. Little details that you probably wouldn't even think about that are there for people who've never really played a game before or played an RPG before. Which makes sense because this is, for all intents and purposes, the only RPG on the N64. Think about that historically for a moment. After the explosion of Doom and Final Fantasy VII in both the United States and Europe, there was a lot more people playing games for the first time. We actually discussed this when we were going through the Mario series. Absolutely, Ross. SMRPG is for people who have already been playing JRPGs, or RPGs in general. This is for someone who's never played an RPG before, which is exactly what I was just getting to. It was designed that way. This was designed for the era of gamers who had just got into gaming thanks to the PlayStation 1, or thanks to the N64, or thanks to just that explosion that happened in gaming in the late 90s. And so all of a sudden, tons and tons of people are playing games that never had before, or couldn't before, because PCs were getting more accessible and more affordable, and consoles were getting more affordable and more accessible, and people started waking up to the fact that people outside of Japan were a market, and blah, 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 blah. So, huge increased audience. Of course they want to make this game so that if you've never played an RPG before, they got you. I'm not saying this is a perfect game, but this is a really good first RPG. Mario, more than a match for the Koopa Bros fortress. Our hero Mario has vanquished the Koopa Bros who live in the Great Fortress to the east. The Koopa Bros, longtime underlings of Bowser, had been left to guard one of the kidnapped Star Spirits. That Star Spirit has returned to Star Haven, all thanks to our heroes. Huzzahs for Mario! The train parked at the station in south of town is pretty spiffy, isn't it? It's called the K64. Unfortunately, a huge boulder's fallen on the track and the train can't go anywhere. Talk about a crying shame. That's a good question, Shihali. I don't know. Yes, Blade Javal. Something I've complained about for years is that Mystic Quest isn't a very good game. It is simple, end statement, as opposed to simple but solid. This is simple but solid. Remember what we talked about earlier? There's a lot of tactics and thought that goes into combat in this game, but it's all stuff that is so intuitive and introduced so gradually that most people playing this game probably never even processed it. Like, you get a fish who can spit water and there's fireball guys, so you don't jump on them because they're made of fire, right? Stuff like that. Hey, mister. My dad's opened up his shop. Don't you want to take a look? It's really cool. It's a badge shop for badges. Come on, check it out, check it out. Okay, so I mentioned there's very little RNG in this game. Some of the only RNG in this game is which badges are available at this shop at which time. So, first attack, multi-bounce, and speedy spin. So we're getting speedy spin. And we're going to equip it immediately. Because I am an impatient bastard. I think we'll hold off on the other one. what you're thinking. What's Speedy Spin? The best badge in the game. It's the sprint button. You're going to hear this noise a lot from now on. No, I'm not going to torture you like that. I mean, I might torture you a little bit, but I'm not going to do it on purpose. I want to sell... Actually, our enemy's weak to sleep, but that's a few dungeons from now. So, inventory space is limited, so we're gonna unload these. I'm also gonna grab one POW for the road. Yep, it's a sprint shoes, wastes a slot, but it's worth it. Whatever obstacle comes through, our love will see us through. The power of my love could blow up any roadblock. Oh, you're so romantic. Our love is explosive. Stood claims he and his girl are in love, but just the other day he told me he liked a different girl. What a cad. Those toads are in love. They're so in love they don't notice what's going on. Unless you like seeing public displays of affection. I wouldn't talk to them. They're shameless. Yeah, Pegasus shoes. Pretty much. Ugh. So, can I think of a rival buffoon character that's landed for me? Now, here's the deal. Before I answer that, I just want to say the villain squad concept has actually always been one that's appealed to me. Ooh, hello. We're going to save state for no reason. Because, like, you know, I like the Mystic Trio in Chrono Trigger. I like the bodyguards in Secret of Mana. And I suddenly can't think of any other examples. It's a fairly common trope, which is why I feel stupid for not thinking of any examples. But you know what I'm talking about, right? It's the squad. It's the enemy squad. It's their elites. They're usually unique to some extent or another. And they've usually got their own thing going on. And they tend to vary... Yeah, the Turks in FF7. They tend to vary based on how good they are. But the thing is, you're probably thinking, no, I asked about the buffoon, not the squad. Well, there's some bleed over sometimes. It kind of varies from game to game, or I guess work to work, as to whether or not it's actually the same concept or not. Having said that, a rival buffoon character who actually worked for me, I can actually give an example. Unfortunately, Ross jumped the gun on that. It is Groose from Skyward Sword. One of the most unironically positive characters in that entire stupid game. A character who is only bad because he could have been even better if they'd stretched his character arc out more. Star Wolf. Yeah, there you go. There's a group again. The squad. There's an actual term for the squad, and I can't think of what the hell the name of it is. But, like, let me use an example of the rival buffoon character that doesn't land for me. And I can't think of her name all of a sudden. Twitface from FF10-2. LeBlanc. LeBlanc... this is... LeBlanc didn't land for me, is the nicest way I could possibly put that. And it's only a little bit because of her outfit. So, let's do a quiz. Now, I actually really want to get this star piece, so I'm going to go ahead and cheat by saving here. Yeah, we'll talk about LeBlanc someday. What's the name of Goombario's younger sister? Goombaria. That was a low ball. Some of these questions are not that easy. I wouldn't call Akechi a rival buffoon. That's the thing. The reason I didn't want to use the term the Goldfish Poop Gang, although I don't remember why that's a thing, is because that's more of an umbrella thing. Or, wrong. That's less of an umbrella thing. Like I said, I tend to mentally divide it as there's the buffoon, and then there's the squad. And these can be the same thing, like in Team Rocket, or sometimes they're completely separate. To go back to Secret of Mana, there's the bodyguards. That's the squad. That's Geshtar, Sheiks, and Fanha, right? But then there's the buffoon. That's the Scorpion Army lady. And her 2 minions. Okay, so I've never been down to the southern part of the town, so let's poke around for a little bit. Grow up, I'm going to learn to be a train conductor. The train conductors are so cool. Station stop, all aboard. Trains are cool. Can confirm. Yeah, exactly. Ozzy and the Mystic Trio are actually both... Damn it, DBD! Are both depending on which part of the game it is. At the beginning of the game, they're actually portrayed as relatively villainous and dangerous. But then by the end of the game, when you've got Magus in your party, they're just the buffoons. Yeah, I was going to say, Dalton is a more traditional buffoon character for Chrono Trigger. Ignore Chrono Cross. Doesn't exist. Doesn't exist. Donna in FF10? So, the reason I hesitated there is I had to mentally ask myself, was Donna in FF10? I remember Donna more from FF10 2, where she's, you know, got her own thing going on. Huh, weird. It's locked. Oh well, time to do the trick. I'm not going to do it. I've only managed this trick like once ever in my entire life. I don't even know if it's possible to do in this version of the game. I'm just going to move on. Anyways, you can clip through this wall here and then go to the exit of dungeon, or excuse me, level 5, chapter 5. We're currently on chapter 2 for a bit of perspective. Yeah, there are all kinds of wild clips in this game. Here comes Red Ranger T. Pow! Here comes Yellow Ranger T. Boom! Green Ranger T. Donk! Look, look, Mario, we're 3 heroes just like you. Aww. No, the first one of these games to have scissors would be Sticker Star. Oh yeah, the shops also function as a bank. I actually forgot to mention that. Apparently there's a giant ruin in the desert. Who knew? Hi, I'm new to the neighborhood. Never expected to be so nice and quiet in the big city. It cost me a small fortune in coins to get this place, but I think it was worth it. Such a lovely house, isn't it? Hey, you're Mario, right? We just moved in. We've only just unpacked. It's like a dream come true. Quiet and gorgeous home to all ourselves. Ah, I'm so happy. Of course, happy as I am, I know these are sad times. I try not to act too jolly when I'm out and about. This is the residential area of Toad Town. It's mostly homes, but there's also a shop. For Toad Town, this area is pretty quiet. These toads just moved here. They like peace and quiet. They said they're enjoying living here so far. They think it's quite comfortable. You can just listen to them yourself. Imagine being able to buy a house. That's how you know this is fiction. That's strange. There's some music playing in here, but there's nothing here. Huh. Oh well. I'm sure that won't come up in 3 chapters. Well, I like this. This is the port. Welcome! If you want to go to Dry Desert, you can't get there from here. Try the trains instead. That's like 7 NPCs who've been like, go to the station for the trains. Tis true. To big fish I be getting when I fish here. Yar, I hear caterpillars be making the best bait. Ye fuzzy pig, you're my bait. Just 'cause you're fishing, I gotta be bait? Nuh-uh. You're a plumb fool. Let me be a caterpillar, but I still got some rights. I really hate eating fish, but fishing does look fun. Fishing in the harbor must be pretty relaxing. My dad goes fishing, too. I wonder if he knows this guy. But seriously, I hate fish. I'm with you. Heard you went to the Koopa Village recently. A long time ago, I went there, too. Remember like it was just yesterday. There were all sorts of people, Koopa Troopas. One Koopa loved the radio. 4 rowdy brothers, giant Ken-C. Oh, there's also that world-renowned explorer, archaeologist. The archaeologist Colorado. If I recall correctly, his wife's always worrying about him. I suppose she wanted him to stay home a bit more. I wonder how those Koopas are holding up. Nah, they're all dead. What? Yep, I needed some shells. See, the joke is a reference to shotgun shells, because sometimes you need more ammo, and so you go and you kill Koopas to get their shells to... So this type of joke is when you're sitting here explaining the joke in a very dull tone, which then draws attention to the fact that it wasn't a very good joke to begin with, which is attempting to try and add a meta layer to the joke to actually then make it funny again. Let's head to Club 64, shall we? Hi, I'm Chanterelle. I'm known around here as the pop diva of Toad Town. I used to be able to sing any song perfectly, each note a masterpiece. Those times are behind me now, perhaps forever. The sight of Peach's castle flying high in the sky was such a shock, I haven't been able to sing since. And now I am a pop diva who cannot sing. Cruel irony, isn't it? I'm Simon. I'm rhyming. To folks who know it, I'm the master poet. Poor pop diva just cannot sing, but my lyrics here are just the thing. My lyrics really rock, or pop diva will be cured of shock. I'm tragically stuck, though, because my last line's a no-show. Later, Pluminator. He writes songs. They call him Master Poet. He's a pretty cool guy. He's in love with pop diva. He's really worried about her. I just know how he feels. Mario, don't laugh. Oh my god. She's a singer, the pop diva. She is so beautiful! Big earthquake scared her so badly she forgot how to sing. Such a pity. Her voice is truly amazing. Oh my god, marry me! Okay. Welcome to Club 64. How do you like the club, dude? Pretty posh, right? Yeah, my buddy there and I opened up last year. Club was broken here and there in the earthquake, but no problem. We got it all fixed up in no time. Lost a whole mess of glass around here when the earthquake hit. Been cleaning ever since. It's a shame. Lots of fond memories in those glasses. He runs the restaurant. He just opened it. He also plays a mean guitar. I'm sure he'll be popular here. I'd like to come here one day with my whole family. I don't like fish, though. Yeah, we get it. He's a waiter at the restaurant. He says he's working here because he longs to be near Pop Diva. He's really working hard. I bet he's working hard to try and impress her. Marry me! Okay. We're good. Today's menu. Sailor's Lunch Special. Mushroom pasta, seafood soup, or seafood salad. Gross. So what was your first JRPG, Ross? Oh god, you're right. Decker? Was a buffoon. Earthbound. Pax's first JRPG was Earthbound, too. That is to say, Earthbound as well. You know, even though these tunnels have many sections, you can always count on one thing. Filthy, stinking water. Would it be too much to ask to get out of here before the stench knocks me out? Seriously, I'm about to wig out. Yeah, mine too, Spartan. I mean, I've played Earthbound. I played FF1 and Dragon Quest 1 so close to each other that it's kind of debatable which one was my first. But based on just real life dates and, you know, research, because yes, I actually did research on this, I'm pretty sure I actually played Dragon Quest 1 first. I know it got my attention first thanks to Nintendo Power, but this is a Gloomba. Gloombas are nasty Goombas who live in Toad Town tunnels. They have 7 HP and 2 attack power. So, these are your typical recolor. Same basic enemy, different palette, which means higher stats. Don't worry, this game has more than just recolors up its sleeve. But even 7 HP enemies which hit for 2 is kind of a problem at this point in time. For a bit of perspective, it would take 2 full turns of successful damage without using MP in order to kill 1 Gloomba. Just to put this into a bit of perspective on how high tier this is compared to where we are right now. Now the problem is, if you're noticing, they're only giving us 4 experience, which means we're actually about at the level where we should be fighting these guys. I was hoping to be a little bit lower level. Oh, we just leveled, that's why. Damn. Yeah, the Junior Trooper fight pushed me over the edge, didn't it? Because this is a good early leveling spot. Once you gain access to it. If you're 1 level lower than we are, which we're not. Don't worry, there's much worse than this. Wait until we see Hyper Goombas. 8 experience isn't bad, it's just painful. The good news is we have a recovery spot very close to this. So this isn't really a dungeon. You know what is a dungeon? A blooper. Yes, sorry, I should have pointed that out, Shihali, why I was doing that. So we're gonna blow some mana on this. Fail, because I suck at everything. So that's 3 damage from that attack. Let's try it one more time. I'm not going to tattle. This guy is actually kind of mean at this point. So yeah, 5 damage from a single attack. May sound like a little, but again, remember the damage and HP values of this game. So we're going to spend a round recovering. So let's go ahead and pop this. Do you really want me to answer that, Pillars of Snow? Oh my god, Earthbound and Breath of Fire 2. I am so sorry. This is a blooper. Bloopers lurk in the dank pools of Toad Town tunnels. 30 HP, 3 attack power. I wonder how they float in the air like that. So I'm pretty consistently getting 5. Like I mentioned, there's actually a literal hard cap on how many you can get per round. Now, if I don't screw this up, we're fine. If I do screw this up, we might actually die right here. Okay. I can still recover from that. This round. Okay, we're good. Jesus. Our reward for all that. The Shrink Stomp Badge, aka Trash. No, we came down here for the experience. Let's be honest about that. So, in case you missed it, there's actually a spiked Gloomba hanging out there. We could deal with him, but not in the state we're in right now. So we're gonna, you know, not be here anymore. And, yeah, that's it. That's all we can do here right now. We need a better hammer. See, even flat out tells us to go that way. And we need a better jump to go this way. But you're getting the point. The nice thing about this is you go down here because you're curious, especially because it says don't go down here. And the first thing you see is you can't go left and you can't go down, but you will be able to eventually go both. And then you go right, and that's when you encounter the fight we just did. I actually kind of like how they do the sewers in this game. It's another one of those simple but solid things. But for now, we need to go heal. So we're going to go do that. I think that might have reset the bad shot, too. Yep. What do we got? Nothing I really want right now. Multi-bounce can be useful, but I'm probably not going to spare the badges for that. Now, before we do the second dungeon, second level, I am actually going to go ahead and take an early break because I have to deal with some stuff. And the best part is I might be cutting off early for the second shift too, but I will be back with more Paper Mario.